Well, Tim, thank you for joining Behind the Brave. So great to have you here and have you take some time. We're recording this on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day, first of all.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And we've actually got, I believe, one of your old teammates, Jair Jurgens. He's in here. I believe it's his family that we got in here.
Yeah, man. He's got a couple cute girls, one on the way. So I was like, man, good thing those kids look like their mom. you know, yeah, they're cute as a button.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Well, you're here for Alumni Sunday today.
Yeah.
Just first question is it's got to be fun just coming back and hanging out for a day, isn't it?
It is. You know what? This organization, they do such an incredible job of bringing former players back and staying plugged in the community and staying plugged in with the organization. And it's fun to come back and just see the fans and watch the team play. My kids love it. They love when I come back for alumni weekends and catch some games. And my son might be one of the biggest Braves fans around, so it's always exciting. I know he gets fired up whenever we're able to come back.
Yeah, you got 3 kids?
I do. I have 2 girls, my oldest, and then my son's the youngest. And my oldest is actually graduated from Auburn last year. She's in Nashville going to Belmont, going to be an OT.
Oh, that's awesome.
Occupational therapist. And then Tess, my middle daughter, she's a sophomore at Auburn, and Cade's a freshman at Auburn. So, we're freshly out of kids from the house. We're empty nesters. So figuring out if me and my wife like each other or not.
How's that going?
Some days are better than others. Sometimes it's up in the air. She's, I'm still trying to find a couple of her hiding places from me. She's got a couple of spots in the house that I hadn't figured out where they are yet, but I'll find them.
Oh, I love that. Well, so the kids are getting older. Obviously,
Yeah.
you've been retired for a little bit. So what are you doing now? What are you doing with your time in retirement?
Well, this is actually the first year that I'm actually really, really retired. After I retired from playing, I jumped right into my son was 11 and 12, so I got into coaching his little travel ball teams and doing that whole crazy travel ball circuit thing, which is insane. And then going into his freshman year in high school, I got a pitching coach job at Auburn. So I spent 3 years there at Auburn, and which was awesome. I loved every minute of it. And but the 3 years that I was there was during Cade's freshman, sophomore, and junior year in high school, and I watched him play ball 3 times. So during that time, I just really felt like I needed to spend some time with him going into his senior year of high school, and decided to shift gears a little bit, and I actually coached his high school team last year.
That's awesome.
His senior year, and it was pretty incredible. It was one of my favorite years in baseball, honestly, just because I knew that it was going to be his last year playing ball, and who knows if where I fit in the coaching scheme anymore. And so we just kind of had a great time with that. And now he's a freshman at Auburn. He joined the fraternity. We both play in a men's league softball league, so things are good. I just try not to pull my hamstring on Tuesday nights.
Are y'all on the same team together in that league? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's way better than I am. He hits the ball further than I do. I'm kind of disappointed, I'm going to be honest with you.
Do you pitch in these games?
No, God,
No?
no. It's only like 40 feet. My reaction time is not good enough to get out of the way of a line drive. They put me at third base and first base, and I just watch balls go by me. I don't even hardly catch them.
Okay.
Those guys are good.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Auburn, and we got the College World Series going on right now as we're talking. And I encourage Braves fans, if you haven't checked out college ball or the College World Series, it's so much fun. It's just it's great. It's very entertaining. And you had a heck of a career at Auburn, obviously, SEC Player of the Year. I mean, this time of year, do you ever think back on those times? I love watching the College World Series. Do you think back to those days at Auburn when this time of year?
Absolutely. It's such a as a college baseball fan. I mean, it doesn't get any better than a College World Series. It was '97 when I played at Auburn, and we went to the College World Series as a player, and it was, seeing how much it's changed from however many years ago, 30 years ago to now. I mean, it's incredible. Fortunately for my last year at Auburn, we was able to go to the College World Series as a coach in 22. So that was so fulfilling for me, just because I went as a player and then you go as a coach, and it is way cooler going as a coach than it is as a player, because you just see all the work that the players put in every day, all the hard work day in and day out. And for them to get rewarded to play on the biggest stage in college baseball is it's incredible. It makes you feel like you've really done your job as a coach to help the boys be prepared. And I can't wait for Auburn to get back again. I know the SEC is it's a big boy league. It's the best amateur league in college baseball, and it's a lot of fun to watch it now. I know that they're well represented in the College World Series with, A&M, Florida. They're so good. Yeah, that league, and the ACC is really coming on as well. So it's a lot of fun baseball right now to watch.
Yeah, it was half and half this year, right? I think it's 4 SEC, 4 ACC. How about that?
Yeah, 4-4, and it's Kentucky's been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, they're always that coach up there in Lexington has done such an incredible job with that program, and Florida has, coming into the year, they were expected to do great things, and they stumbled throughout the year, and all of a sudden now they caught fire at the right time. A&M is, they're really, really, really good. They're a ball club it's awesome to watch. And Tennessee, Tennessee's Tennessee. Coach, Tony has done an incredible job. That's a really tough place to go up there and play in Knoxville, and I saw it firsthand my last year at Auburn, and it's fun. It's not easy, but I love it. It's a great environment.
That's awesome. Well, I was fortunate enough for your Braves Hall of Fame induction a few years ago. I was here working. It was my 10th year with the Braves, so I was working, and it was one of my favorite nights on the job just because it's, I love showing up to the ballpark every day, but kind of those unique nights like that are so cool. So I believe you and Joe Simpson went in together. That's and right. A lot of fond memories of that. Bobby giving Joe a hard time for having maybe a longer than normal speech. But when you look back on that, the whole experience of, first of all, being told you're going to make the team Hall of Fame and then actually getting inducted, what was that like for you?
It's very surreal. I grew up in, just outside of Columbus, Georgia, in small town Salem, Phoenix City area, and I grew up a Braves fan. I grew up, watching Bobby Cox and John Smoltz and Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux and Chipper Jones and all these guys. I was a fan way before I was a player. And, in 2005, whenever I got traded to Atlanta, I had to pinch myself. I was like, man, I can't believe I'm looking across the locker room and I'm seeing Chipper Jones and Bobby Cox and Andrew Jones across the way. And I was like, golly, it's like, what a dream come true for a small town kid from Alabama, and for been able to play 9 years, and 9 of my years and quote unquote the prime of my career was I was very blessed and lucky, very lucky to be as healthy as I was, and so and after it was all said and done, after they thought that I'd done some things cool enough to be inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame, and it's just what an honor. It's this is this organization is top notch, and they always do things right, and they always surround themselves with awesome people, and so for them to think that much of me and my family it's very humbling, and I'm just happy that I can claim this place as being part of my family and part of whatever chapters of my career that I had, and it's great to be back.
You mentioned you were a Braves fan growing up. Did you have a favorite player growing up? Who was your guy? Or were there multiple?
Yeah. There's always a lot of players that you pull for as a kid growing up. But Dale Murphy was the guy, back when, I was coming up, in the mid-late 80s. And, he was the guy, and, it's funny. We were playing in a golf tournament about a month or so ago for up here in Atlanta. And, he and I was kind of going around and playing with some folks, and I looked at him and I was like, "Daggum, Dale Murphy, he still hits it further than I do, and he's like 25 years older than me, right? But still hits it a mile." I was like, that's what you get though when you have a swing like his.
Well, you're in the Braves Hall of Fame for being a pitcher, but you had a few homers in your career. I remember seeing them. I was since you brought up that hitting, I did want to ask, when you would hit a home run as a pitcher, what was that like when you come back to the dugout? Did you come in kind of looking at Chipper and those guys going, this ain't hard, guys.
Yeah,
it ain't hard.
It's easy sport. Come on, let's be honest. No, you know what? For a pitcher to hit a home run, that's way cooler than anything you'll do on the mound. You can strike guys out and whatever, but when you hit a homer, it's like, dude, you can just, I milk it I'd take 30 seconds to run the bases, it's just like, I don't get to do this a lot, but, maybe do a back, little twirl around first base. And we were pimping it before pimping it was cool, but, And a lot of times it's because I was so hot and tired. I was like, man, I can't run fast. I got to just take my time here.
You go back out and pitch. You got to rest up a little bit, right?
Yeah. But it's, coming in the dugout, it's so cool because the guys are, the dugout is so happy for pitchers when they come in after they hit a homer because they know we don't do it a lot. And it would be the same thing as if a position player had to pitch and all of a sudden he goes out there and strikes out a couple people. I mean, that's probably a really, really cool moment for a position player if they get out there and are able to strike out a big league hitter.
Yeah.
So, it is fun. And, it's too bad it doesn't happen anymore.
I know.
With the way the rules have changed. But I always enjoyed it. It's fun. It's great to be able to go out there and try to help yourself at the plate when you was a pitcher because not many can do it.
Yeah. I think one of your games where you hit a home run, you won the game, and I think there was the only run scored was on your home run, if I remember right. I don't have the box score in front of me, but in my fan mind, that's how it happened.
Hey, you know what's incredible? I know exactly. We was playing the Blue Jays at Turner Field, and it was 0-0 in like the 8th inning. And I come up with one guy on base and no outs, and Freddie Gonzalez was the manager. He let me hit for myself. I thought he was going to either make me bunt or pinch hit for me. And golly, if he didn't let me swing away. And, man, he threw a fastball about middle end, and I got the head out on it and hit a homer, and it was 2-0. But the coolest part is that swing is actually on a baseball card.
Really?
I have, and the only reason I know it is because, we got it right here. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Check this out. Right? Huh?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that is awesome.
And the only reason I know is because you look at the dugout behind me, and they're going nuts.
Yeah.
Right? So it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And it was funny because they put the timer on me to run the bases right there. And it was like 30 seconds to run the bases. But it was the 8th inning. I was hot. It was July.
Yeah. I mean, you're going for a complete game.
Yeah.
You're carrying the whole team at this point.
Come on, guys. You want me to throw a shutout and hit a homer? I mean, come on. I hadn't done this since Little League.
What was it like? I remember when you got injured, and then I remember with the Braves, and then your first game back, and then ultimately you go on the following year to win Comeback Player of the Year. What was that like? I mean, winning that has to. I feel like going through adversity and then come through it on the other side, and then to get not that you need the recognition for it, but getting some recognition for it has got to be a pretty cool deal.
Yeah. Especially because I wasn't a young player when that happened either. I was getting up there in age just a little bit, so it wasn't like, you're a young guy and you get hurt and then you come back and everything's good. When you start getting, on the wrong side of 30, things don't heal up quite as quick as they used to. And so it was, the Braves, they have such an unbelievable training staff and doctors with the organization that, they do everything they can to help you come back from injuries. And, I was determined to come back as good or better than I was. And fortunately I was able to do that and be healthy. And it's, I think it's just all about how you're wired, between the ears. And, I was always a guy that had to kind of prove myself pretty much every level I ever played at, growing up. And it was just one of those challenges where it's like, okay, this is the next little hurdle, little adversity you're going through, and, how are you going to respond to it? And, I think I had just enough Alabama redneck in me to keep doing it and grinding away but then also to be able to be recognized around baseball as not only able to come back and be, get your game back, but also be considered, one of the better ones in that league that year at doing it. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So when you were traded here to Atlanta, 2005, I remember you and your wife Kim. I mean, it seemed like from day one you guys became immediately heavily involved in the community and giving back and doing a lot of stuff with your foundation, Braves Foundation. And I know the Hudson Family Foundation's been a big deal for you guys for a lot of years now. So how's that going? You guys still doing some work in the Auburn area with the Hudson Family Foundation?
Yeah, it is. It's going great. It's I've been very blessed to have a really awesome platform to do some things with through baseball. And, coming here to Atlanta and getting plugged in right away when I first got traded here, it was just a great step to start our own foundation. And it's been going strong for, 15 years now. We started it in 08, so I don't know. My math is I'm a little out of the game here.
I didn't work at the baseball working on math.
Let's see, carry the two. But yeah, a long time.
Yeah, a while. Yeah.
But you know what? It's been awesome, man. We've been able to really do some cool things with our foundation, helping families that are in need with kids and going through certain hardships. And it's my wife's baby. She really is. It's both of ours, honestly. But she really, she has really taken to heart to really help some people in Alabama and Georgia through our foundation. And I'm just happy to be able to. To be blessed enough to have the opportunity to do it. And it's our duty. It's our duty to do stuff. Whenever you're blessed in any area, whether it's sports or business or whatever, I think we have a duty to give back whenever we can.
Amen to that. HudsonFamilyFoundation.com, right?
That's right.
Okay. So before I let you go, I have to admit this is getting to talk to you just for a little bit is a little bit of a full circle moment for me. So going back to 2012, and again, my math, like yours, it was a while ago. It was a long time ago, however many years ago that was. But at that time, I was just always been a big Braves fan, was a baseball fan, wasn't working in the game, and I was it's in between jobs, as they say, but really hungry and desperate to work in sports somehow. So at the time, for my own enjoyment and just throwing it out there, I was making some Braves parody songs and throwing them on YouTube. One of them was called Teach Me How to Huddy.
Oh, my gosh.
So I put that out years ago, and I hadn't watched it in forever. It'd been a while.
So that was you.
That was me. I was that guy. And I went and watched it this morning, and I was the nostalgia of it. I was like, oh, man, I remember being that guy.
Gave me chills.
Oh. So I remember I was that guy in my 20s at the time, just desperate to work in sports. And I remembered making the song because it was fun. I was glad that people liked it. I'd forgotten until I watched it this morning. At the end of the video, I put a message to follow me on Twitter. At the very end, I said, follow Ricky Mast on Twitter. Also, he needs a job. Please hire him. And I'd forgotten about that. But now here I am. This is my 10th season working for the Atlanta Braves. So thank you for just being out there and I remember at the time I think you got a kick out of it, and so it helped me break in. So thank you for providing me that opportunity.
That is awesome. I'm glad we finally met.
Yeah, it's great to meet you.
You know what? It's so funny. My kids love it. They laugh at that. I mean, and honestly, I like it too. It makes me laugh every time I would watch it and see it. But when I was coaching at Auburn, our pitching staff found that.
Oh no.
Brother. And next thing I know, they're playing it in the pregame batting practice. And I was just like, oh my Lord, what?
Well, sorry about that.
I thought it was hilarious. But there's a couple of those knuckleheads, they just wouldn't let me live it down. Teach
awesome.
me how to. And I was just like, man, that was kind of a big deal back then, guys. Yeah. Y'all remember that song?
Well, I actually shortly after that, or sometime after that, your wife messaged me on Twitter, I believe it was, and said, hey, I want to surprise Tim with Top Gun Day is coming up.
Oh, my gosh.
And she said that, Tim always said back in college that he looks like Maverick from Top Gun. Could you just do a little fun song about that?
She's so full of it. I mean, come on.
So you didn't say you look like Maverick.
Everybody thinks they look like Tom Cruise in college. I mean, let's be honest.
I think I look more like Goose, to be honest with you.
That was when I had hair and thought I was cool.
But did you see the new Top Gun?
It's good. I liked it.
I've seen it a dozen times.
I thought it was good.
Maybe I think they're going to make another one. Maybe they can get you in that. Yeah.
I thought it was good. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll be a mechanic, an airplane mechanic
there you
in
go.
the background or something.
I love it.
Taking the trash out maybe.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for taking the time, man. It's always great to have you back here. We look forward to seeing you every time you're here, and so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed it.